Syracuse will get as opposed to presumably Kansas should they win this game?
Well, you know, I think it is incredibly important, Dan, that 3 hours of rest. We beat North Carolina in a very tough game once in the regionals, and then had to play Virginia the next with our having to go 3.5 hours later than Virginia did, and 2 days later we played them, and I just felt that time was instrumental in our being about a half a step behind what was going on in the ball game. That's crucial.
Overton, the offensive foul. Subs for Kansas, Collins and Aldrich back into the game right now for KU as we pass the midway point of the second half. It was a hard-fought win for Syracuse over Florida earlier tonight. Nice turnaround jump hook. Marcus Morris is showing some skills tonight.
But there's another one of Karen's passes there. That was a great pass by Collins. He came across the floor, looked inside all the way, and got a real low bounce pass into Morris inside.
Well, what we've seen here in the second half is Washington has not gotten the offensive rebounds, but they've continued to shoot poorly, so they just can't find a way to score the ball.
See, that's where the shot fake should take place right there. We showed it in the first half, and there's a great chance for a shot fake, and they didn't use it. That's going to be a foul from behind. Yeah.
Over the back goes Morris after a nifty crossover move by Sharon Collins. Hey, tomorrow night you can catch the semifinals of the EA Sports Maui Invitational on ESPN. Texas and Notre Dame in the first semi. Texas beat St. Joe's. Notre Dame pounded Indiana. North Carolina has beaten Chaminade, so they'll play the winner of Oregon and Alabama. The EA Sports Maui Invitational, a part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's on ESPN Tuesday. Coach, you have coached against Rick Barnes. He's a friend of yours and has been a foe of yours on the court. Tell us a little bit about the Texas program and what you've run into in recent years.
I'm not sure how well I coached against Rick Barnes. It seemed like that we just never were able to play well against Texas. Rick's done a great job at Texas. He's recruited well, and he's coached very well. He does an excellent job of utilizing 8, 9 players, keeping them going and keeping kids fresh. He alternates his defenses a little bit. I think the team that he has this year may very well be as good or better than any team that he's had since he's been there, because he's got a little bit of everything that needs to be done on the offensive end, and I think that his personality is such that they'll play well on the defensive end.
Should be an outstanding matchup. You talk about a great matchup, not even in the finals, in the semifinals of an early season tournament, because Mike Bray's got a loaded team at Notre Dame as well. They've got the inside guy in Heron Goldie, the outside play in Torrey Jackson and Kyle McElharney. I mean, this is a circle on your calendar kind of match.
Well, you know, the tournament in Maui this year is one of those tournaments that was probably set up 3 or 4 years ago, right. And every once in a while it happens in one of these 8-team tournaments that you get 4 or 5 teams that are going to be very good teams all year long, and it gives them a great chance early to see how they play against good teams.
Carolina, Texas, and Notre Dame, 3 top 10 teams out in Maui in the semifinals tomorrow night on ESPN. Baseline, Thomas can't finish. Rebound, boy, good rebound out of his area by Pondexter. Really chased it down.
This game will be a game that a lot of teams that are going to be playing Washington will use as a guide, Dan, during the course of the game. And they'll really study the zone that Kansas has played against Washington and their inability to shoot well against it. Now, Washington's shooting is going to have to really improve, or this is what they're going to be looking at all year long.
Well, assuming they lose this and they play Florida, we saw Florida play a lot of zone against Syracuse in the first game, even though Syracuse did very well against it as Denton knocks down the jumper. So we would expect, I guess, Billy Donovan to play a lot of zone against Washington in the third-place game tomorrow.
Well, it was a surprisingly large amount of zone played by Florida, I thought, in the game, but I think you're absolutely right. It'll be the thing in the game tomorrow night.
Timeout taken by Kansas as Morris fell to the ground and gets helped back up. That last bucket by Washington, by the way, was by Dentman, who averages 15 a game. Those were his first points of the night. 52-33, Kansas leading Washington. And we've got the champion.
From Allen to Self has had at least a couple of very good teams at Kansas. You know, one of the things that we haven't seen nearly as much, and they've made some corrections because they're looking to the block out. There aren't nearly as many offensive rebounds on the part of Washington.